Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another live stream. It is the live game preview. Everton taking on Aston Villa at Goodison Park tomorrow night. 8 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday. Again, how exciting is that? Another late game on a Saturday. I don't know why. I don't know what we've got to do to play at 3 o'clock on a Saturday, because I don't think we've played at 3 o'clock on a Saturday since October. But here we are, another late game, and a really important game for Everton, a really important game for Carlo Ancelotti's Everton side. As you can see by the title of this live stream, for me, I'm not really interested in how we do it. I'm not really interested in the way in which we perform, as long as we get the 3 points, because that's what's most important at this point in the season. 6 games to go. We are in that fight for Europe. We are in that race for the top 4, 5, 6 places. You know, if you look at the table at the moment, you could finish 9th, 10th at the end of this Premier League season and still only be within 2 or 3 points from, you know, the top 4 places. So it's very tight at the minute, and teams like West Ham, teams like Chelsea, teams like Liverpool, Tottenham, you know, I'm sure will pick up points between now and the end of the season. So it's absolutely imperative that Everton go out on Saturday night tomorrow and get the 3 points against an Aston Villa side who, you know, have had the injury issues recently. Obviously Jack Grealish I think is still out, then they've got Trezeguet out as well, but they've still got, you know, quality within that squad. They've still got the likes of Ollie Watkins, they've still got the likes of John McGinn, who I really rate and think that you know, they're good players. So ultimately this is on Everton, and it's down to Everton and Carlo Ancelotti's Everton side to go out and win this game of football. Carlo hasn't had his pre-game press conference yet. We don't usually do it before the pre-game press conference, but we are today. So we don't know about injuries. We don't have an injury update, but I would assume that, you know, the majority of players, certainly that will be included in our predicted starting 11, will be fit, because you know, we haven't heard any injury issues since. So hopefully, you know, everybody and the players that we already know are out, are ready and fit, and like I said, this is a massively important game for Everton. It really is. You know, 6 games to go. Obviously, we haven't played Aston Villa away from home yet. That fixture still hasn't been rescheduled. It was postponed in January due to issues that Aston Villa had within their camp with COVID-19, and it still hasn't been rescheduled. So we're going into the last few weeks of the season, and we still don't know when we're going to play Aston Villa away from home. But look, ultimately, like I said, Villa are a decent side. They had a really strong start to the Premier League season, and then they sort of drifted off a little bit. Like I said, they've had their injury issues. Jack Grealish has been out for a number of weeks now, and that really hindered them. They're currently sitting 11th in the Premier League, 7 points behind Everton, 13 wins, 6 draws and 13 losses. So again, like I said, recently they've struggled a little bit due to the injuries that they've had, but they've still got quality to, you know, ultimately to turn up and to give Everton a little bit of trouble. Tomorrow night, they've got the likes of Ollie Watkins, they've got the likes of John McGinn, who I said, like I said, you know, massive win against Liverpool earlier on in the season. Within the first couple of weeks in the season, they've beaten the champions by 7 goals to 2. They've put in some really strong performances this season, Aston Villa, and, you know, they've established themselves as a, you know, a good side in the Premier League. It's just that, again, like I said, they've been hit with injuries in key areas and to key players. That hasn't helped them whatsoever. Like I said, for me, there's no real excuse tomorrow night for Everton to not go out and get the 3 points. Look, I'd love to see us turn round and put in an unbelievable performance. I'd love to see us turn round and beat Aston Villa 4, 5, 6-0 or even 2, 3, 4-0. But ultimately, if we win this game 1-0 with a last-minute goal off the back of somebody's arse, I don't really care, to be honest with you, because at this point in the season, the most important thing is to get those wins. And, you know, we come off the back of a run of sort of disappointing draws with the win against Arsenal last week, and it was, you know, the Brighton game, the Palace game, the Tottenham game were all sort of games that in one way or one form or another left us with a bit of a sour taste in our mouths after them, because, you know, the Palace game, we'd missed about 15 chances to win that game. The Brighton game, we were absolutely dreadful. In the Tottenham game, you know, we were very good, but we gifted Tottenham 2 goals, and ultimately, you know, we dropped 2 points in that game through that. So we come away from those 3, you know, draws on the bounce with a good win against Arsenal last week, and in a very similar fashion. You know, it wasn't a great performance, it wasn't an amazing game to watch, and the goal come from a stupid defensive goalkeeping error from Arsenal, but ultimately, I don't really care, because we come away with the 3 points, and that's all that matters. If we sit here at the end of this Premier League season and Everton are sitting in 4th or 5th or even just in a European position, and we're all sitting here saying, yeah, do you know what, we're going to be playing in Europe next season. We won't be sitting there going, yeah, but we weren't that great against Arsenal away. We beat them, but we weren't that great. Or, yeah, but we weren't that great against Villa at home. All of us will be sitting here going, is that win against Arsenal was massive. That win against Villa hopefully was massive. That win against, Wolves in the next couple of weeks was massive. So it's all about the wins at the moment. It's all about going out and getting the 3 points. It's all about going out and making sure you get over the line. And how you do it is second now for me. Yes, it'd be great to go out and put in an unbelievable performance. Yes, it'd be great to go out and show that we can, again, we can dominate teams and we can beat those teams that, let's be honest, we've got more quality than, no disrespect to Villa, but ultimately the way in which we do it, for me, I don't really mind as long as we go out and get the 3 points. Big thanks to everybody for watching us live. If you are watching us, please do hit that like button. It does only take a second. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. Share the stream, try and get as many people involved as we possibly can. Like I said, Aston Villa have got some injury issues at the moment. Most noticeably, I think a lot of people would say their best player, their most creative player, their captain Jack Grealish, has been out for a number of weeks now. Read up on the latest Aston Villa injury news, and apparently it looks like Jack Grealish will miss this game as well. I think they hope to have him back for the game against Manchester United, which is in a couple of weeks, I think. But by all accounts, it seems like he isn't quite fit enough to play this game. I think he has returned to first team training, but only recently returned to individual training, so it's unlikely he'll be available for tomorrow's game. I think they've got Trezeguet out as well, who we've seen at times this season can be a very effective player. I think Matty Cash is out, but they've still got quality. Like I said, they still have quality. They've still got the likes of Ollie Watkins, who has come in this season, and to be fair to Ollie Watkins, I think he's had a better season than most would have assumed, to be honest with you. Ollie Watkins is a player who, when he signed for Aston Villa, I thought that's a lot of money for a player who hasn't really got any Premier League, or hasn't got any Premier League experience whatsoever, and is going to have to prove that he can take that jump up from Championship success to Premier League success. But he's done it. He scored a plethora of goals this season. He's had his England debut. He scored on his England debut, and he looks like a real top talented young player, and look, he's had like I said, he's had a decent season. John McGinn, who I rate massively, I think John McGinn's a fantastic player. He's somebody who you'd always have to look out for. But ultimately, again, these are players that Everton should be more than capable of dealing with. These are players that, although they're good and they can hurt teams, if Everton are hit by Ollie Watkins and the likes of John McGinn on Saturday, it's more than likely going to be because we've done it to ourselves. If you like, defensively we've been poor or we've made silly mistakes. And that's not me saying those players aren't good. They're very good players and they will capitalise on mistakes. But the important thing is not doing what we did against Tottenham Hotspur and gifting, Aston Villa these opportunities. It's at Goodison Park, of course, and we all know that, our home form at Goodison Park this season hasn't been great whatsoever. And it needs to drastically improve. We all know that, of course we do. Recently, like I said, the game against Tottenham, I thought we were much better. To be honest with you, I thought it was a positive performance. I really did. I thought we were much better than we usually are. I thought we attacked. I thought we got at Tottenham. I thought we pressed them quite high. I thought we forced them into making defensive mistakes. It's just unfortunate that we made defensive mistakes as well, and basically gifted Tottenham Hotspur a point on that afternoon, and we can't afford to do the same with Aston Villa tomorrow. Like I said, we need the likes of James Rodriguez, we need the likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison, all on the top of their game and all firing. And obviously there's improvements to be made there. Dominic Calvert-Lewin hasn't had the greatest of the last couple of weeks or so. He had the game against Crystal Palace where he had a plethora of opportunities, a couple of one-on-one chances, and he missed them. He had chances against Tottenham, he's had chances against Brighton, and although again he didn't have as many as he did against Palace, he still hasn't had a goal now for quite some weeks. So it'll do Dominic Calvert-Lewin the world of good to get back involved on the score sheet tomorrow, and hopefully be that player that wins us the game. And look, ultimately, like I said, that's what's most important tomorrow. The win is first, the performance is second. If we perform brilliantly, then yeah, great, we'll all sit down next week and we'll all talk about how brilliant it was to perform fantastically and get the 3 points. But ultimately, I'd rather us not perform and get the win than perform and not get the win, to be honest with you, because at this point in the season, performing well and not winning doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't, because it's crunch time now. It really is crunch time. It's get your head down and just grind out the wins in whichever way you possibly can. Performances don't matter now. It's about getting the wins, and like I said, that's that should be number one priority for me. And Everton have got the quality to go out and beat this Aston Villa side, and for me, we've got the quality to go out and control this game of football as well. Like I said, we are doing this preview before Carlo Ancelotti's pre-game press conference. I think his press conference starts at 1:30, so in about 45 minutes. So we'll find out some injury news there. But from the images that the club have been putting out today in training, Dominic Calvert-Lewin looks ready. Lee looks fit. You've got James Rodriguez who's being pictured. He looks ready. Abdoulaye Doucouré has been pictured back in training as well. However, I don't think he'll be available. I think he's just been pictured. To show his recovery is going well and to show his recovery is going as planned. But look, again, like I said, the likes of James, DCL, Richarlison, Alan, Davis, Godfrey, Mina, these should all be players that are ready and fit and available, and we should have more than enough quality to go out and control this game tomorrow. I want to see the type of Everton performance that we saw against Tottenham. To be honest with you, I want to see Everton getting at Aston Villa. I want to see Everton forcing Aston Villa into making mistakes. I want to see Everton getting forward and creating. I just hope that we can sort of rekindle that form from the start of the season, to be honest with you, because it's been a very up and down season. I think it's fair to say this time this season, it's been one of them where we started really brightly. The performances were absolutely excellent. The goals we were scoring, we was on averaging 3 or 4 goals a game, and we went 7 wins, 7 games, 7 wins, and 4 out of 4 in the Premier League, and we were top of the league, and it was all well and good. And then obviously we hit a little bit of a stumbling block after the international break. We lost to Southampton. We lost to Newcastle, and then we bounced back in December with a massive win against Chelsea. We beat Arsenal, we beat Leicester away, and then since then it's been very much sort of up and down. We had the Derby win, which is absolutely excellent. We then went on a couple of wins with Southampton and West Brom. We lost to Chelsea. We then went 3 draws on the bounce. So it's been quite an up and down season again, but I just hope that tomorrow night we can rekindle that form of earlier on in the season, and we can go out and we can show that even against a team like Aston Villa, who are a decent side, like I said, sitting 11th in the Premier League, and before they were hit with quite significant injuries, they were they were themselves in the conversation for potential challenges for European competitions. So again, Aston Villa are a good side. They've got some good players. They've showed that on a number of occasions this season. They've had some fantastic results this season. So this isn't by any stretch of the imagination a pushover side. I think the reality of this game is it's the type of game that Everton have tripped up in this season, and that's why it's so vitally important. I wasn't massively worried about the Arsenal game last week, if I'm being honest with you, because I looked at Arsenal and I thought, we haven't won here in 25 years. They're dreadful. They're absolutely dreadful. They're without two of their 2 best players, their 2 strikers. I think Everton should go in with a lot of confidence and with a lot of sort of belief in ourselves. Plus, we're away from home, and away from home this season we've been, very, very good. This game, I think, is a little bit different. This is the type of game in which Everton have tipped up in this season. Where we've come into a game and we've thought, these will beat these, these haven't got as much quality as us, these will be a comfortable win, and it hasn't worked out. We saw it against Fulham, we saw it against Newcastle, we saw it against Burnley, and do I think Aston Villa are better than those teams? I do. I think they've got more quality than those teams, and that's why I hope that it won't be the same outlook. We won't be looking at this game thinking, we'll win this will be comfortable. I think Everton will be looking at this game, and Carlo Ancelotti will be looking at this game thinking it's going to be a difficult test. They've got some good players, they're a good side, and they've performed really, really well at times this season. So ultimately, look, like I said, we have to take all of that into consideration. I mean, if you look at Aston Villa's previous results, last time out they drew 2-2 with West Brom in the Midlands Derby. They lost 2-1 to Manchester City the week before. Again, a tight game, only losing 2-1 to a team like Manchester City, who are looking likely to be champions this season. Lost 2-1 to Liverpool the week before that, again, fired a goal in the last second of the game. Beat Fulham 3-1 before that, and then lost to Spurs 2-0 the week before that as well. So Aston Villa aren't particularly in the worst run of form. I think they'll be disappointed with the 2 defeats to City and Liverpool, and obviously not being able to get over the line against West Brom. And they have sort of struggled to find their form a little bit recently. But Everton have to capitalise that now. Everton have come away from what was a run of 3 disappointing draws and come out of it with a big, big historical win against Arsenal. And like I said on Monday, it wasn't just a win. It wasn't just an amazing win because we haven't beaten them for that long at their ground, or because we hadn't done the double over them in that many years. It was an amazing win because ultimately, in the context of this season, we needed the 3 points last week. We threw the 3 points against Tottenham, which was could have been detrimental, absolutely detrimental, because again, Tottenham are probably our closest sort of rivals in this fight for Europe. But we couldn't have through that game against Arsenal. We really couldn't, and we didn't. We got out there and we got the 3 points. Was it a classic? No. Was it a great performance? No. Was it an unbelievable goal to win the game? No, but I don't care. I don't care about any of that at this point in the season with 6 games to go. I honestly don't care about how we win as long as we win. If you were to say to me, Cam, now, right, you're gonna close your eyes, you're gonna open them, and you will see that from the last 6 games of the Premier League season, Everton have won every single game. I wouldn't even be asked about how we performed or how well we played or who scored or who played well. I'd be just over the moon that we've won every single game between now and the end of the season. And I know that's probably not realistic because we've got a couple of difficult games in there. And look, it's, will Everton go 6 wins on the bounce? I highly doubt it. But certainly in games like this, against teams like Aston Villa, who we should be expecting to win, we have to go out and win. It's as simple as that. It'll be difficult, yeah, but for me, it's 3 points or nothing. If we don't win, then we're in serious danger of teams like Liverpool, teams like West Ham, teams like Tottenham picking up points around us and then ultimately overtaking us. And look, again, I said it after the Tottenham game, I think I sort of felt like Europe had escaped us a little bit. Okay, we beat Arsenal and, Liverpool dropped points and West Ham lost, and I think Tottenham had only just squoze through, so we're still well within that fight. But again, we can't afford to be dropping points on tomorrow night. We really can't. Let's get into the live comments then before we get into our predicted starting 11, because I do want to talk about it. Like I said, Carlo hasn't had this press conference yet, so we're not absolutely certain on injury news, but I can sort of give a little bit of a guess. Adam, she says, reckon we should do the double over these. We should do, mate. We absolutely should do it. And again, no disrespect to Aston Villa. One thing that West Ham have done really well recently, and I've said it before, one thing that West Ham have done fantastically this season is when they've come up against the teams that are below them, they've usually beaten them. They've had that consistency in beating the temes that are behind them. Now, they've struggled against the teams that are in and around them, i.e. Chelsea last week, lost to Chelsea. They've struggled against the teams that are sort of, above them in the league and performing better than them. But more often than not, when they've played the teams that are below them, they haven't slipped off. They've beaten them. They've had that consistency. They've gone out and they've won. This is what Everton need to do tomorrow. Now, Aston Villa are a good side. They are a good side. They've got some quality players, but they're not as good as Everton. We've got better quality of player. We should be going out and winning this game, and it's important that we go out and do that tomorrow. So yeah, we absolutely should be doing the double. If we want to be sitting in a European position next season, Europa League, Conference League, Champions League, whatever it may be, you have to expect to go out and beat sides like Aston Villa. They're not the worst team in the league. They're a decent side and they have been hindered with injuries, but you'd have to expect to go out and beat them. If you're enjoying, by the way, so far, please do hit that like button. Only takes a second if you're new to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe as well. Share the stream. Try and get as many people involved as we possibly can. Big Nozza says, hi Cam, 3 points a must tomorrow. Would like to smash them, but a goal like last week would do, mate. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Listen, it would be absolutely unbelievable to sit here next week and talk about a 4-5-6-0 Everton victory where we've just been absolutely dominant and we've battered Aston Villa. It'd be great. It'd make this much easier to sit down and talk about an unbelievable win. But ultimately, I'll be equally as happy if I'm sitting here on Monday, Tuesday talking about an Everton win in which the Aston Villa's goalkeepers made a shocking mistake like last week with the Arsenal game, and we've won the game. As long as we win this game of football, I don't really care now. Performances at this point in the season, there's the momentum and in terms of performing and putting in an unbelievable performance, it's second nature, because we put in a very good performance against Tottenham, and this is what gives me a bit of confidence going into this game, because our home form this season has been absolutely dreadful, and in games in which we should have won, we've lost at Goodison Park and we've been really poor. But we turned up against Tottenham and we put in a performance. We fought, we battled, we got at them, we worked hard, the formation worked, the tactics worked. It was just 2 stupid defensive mistakes that cost us. And look, maybe the formation didn't work because it was a 5 at the back, and again, I just don't think we can play a 5 at the back. But ultimately we were a lot better than we have been in recent weeks. Like you said, a 3 points is a must. If we smash them, brilliant. If we don't, then as long as we win. Philip says, morning all, afternoon. Hi Phil, hope you're doing well. Jason says, hi Cam, certainly. Football fans thought says, hi Cam, hi mate, hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well, Jason. Sean says, afternoon Sean, hope you're well, mate. Adam, she says, see what Carlo said about what makes Everton unique, top fella. Yeah, I was in the Zoom call with Carlo Ancelotti yesterday. I'm sure a lot of you were. I think it was for Liverpool University. And he basically just done an open Zoom, and he was speaking about Everton, he was speaking about himself, his career, the project, the future, the stadium. It was absolutely unbelievable. We covered most of it on our Twitter. But if you were involved in the Zoom call, it was a fantastic experience. It was great to listen to Carlo Ancelotti on more of a personal level, rather than usually when we're listening to him in press conferences, it's about games and what's going on in team news, etc. Whereas this was it was good to hear. It was a fantastic experience. It was a fantastic night. Will says apparently we have agreed a deal for Coutinho. Football fans now says you alright, camp is off Coutinho. Yeah, I read it. I think a certain newspaper who shall remain unnamed and shall never be talked about on this channel and shouldn't even be a thing has come out and said that Everton will sign Coutinho. Again, if you know what I'm talking about, you know to not believe that. I think it's probably just Philippe Coutinho's agent throwing the word about, to be honest, to try and get the hype around him, to try and get a move to the Premier League. I don't think Everton are interested in Coutinho, and I don't think Everton will sign Coutinho. He's a good player. He's a good player with a lot of quality, but I just don't think he's what Everton need. Philip says, Carlo says he's here and just waiting to sign a new contract. Best BM will be the best in the world. Bramley-Moore will be the best in the world. Yeah, he did. He said, I think he said on an interview or an article that he's waiting to sign. He wants to sign a new contract. He wants to stay at Everton for the long term. He wants to be here for a lot of years. So unbelievable words by Carlo. Football fans though says we don't need him. Kate Rivet says hope you're welcome. Let's get the 3 points tomorrow. We need the top 6 finish this season. Hope the lads get the job done. Me too, Kate. Absolutely spot on there. Luke says do we have Grealish back yet? I don't think so, mate. I think he's still injured. I think he's back in individual training, but not. Well, from what I've read, it doesn't seem that he's going to be fit enough to play tomorrow. Adam, she says Mighty Blues ultras at Bramley-Moore in 2024. Big Nod says got to toddle off to work now. My prediction is 4-0 Richie, Dom 2 and Hammers. I hope so, mate. I really do hope so. Have a good day at work, mate. Thanks for stopping by. Philip says let's hope Delph gets some new socks. Big Nod says let's hope he gets a new club. Kate says Grealish is injured. Luke, good news for us, he's their best player. Luke says that's brilliant for us. And Adam, she says league needs to crack down on players wearing wrong socks. I advocate a lifetime ban. I still can't get my head around that, to be honest. I really still can't get my head around it. Anyway, let's get back into talking about the game. Like I said, Aston Villa are a decent side. They're a side with quality. They're a side with players that can hurt you, players that can turn up and ultimately perform. And Everton need to be at our best tomorrow. We can't be having none of this. We played really, really well, but 2 silly defensive errors have lost us the game, or 1 silly defensive error has dropped us points. We can't be having none of that. We simply have to be at 110%. We have to ensure that we don't make any stupid defensive errors like we didn't against Arsenal. Hopefully we're a little bit more clinical and we're a little bit more creative than we were against Arsenal, because we weren't very creative, let's be honest. There was only a couple of chances here and there, and obviously the goal ended up coming through a shocking goalkeeping error. So hopefully we can be a lot better going forward than we were last week. But again, defensively, I thought we were solid last week. I thought Mason Holgate and Ben Godfrey stepped in and done a really, really good job. I thought they were solid. I thought they were consistent. And I thought ultimately they worked well together, and it wasn't any defensive mistakes whatsoever. Jordan Pickford popped up with an unbelievable save as well to ultimately to win us the game in the last sort of 5 or 10 minutes. So Everton have to do that again tomorrow. Everton have to turn up, defend really well, cut out the stupid defensive mistakes, and hopefully Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison, as well as James Rodriguez, can turn up at the other end and create something and turn this game into a comfortable win for Everton. Because let's be honest, if Everton want to be a team that is seriously considered as European challengers, or seriously considered as challengers in the Champions League in the next couple of years, again, no disrespect to Aston Villa. Aston Villa are a massive club. They really are, and they're a good side. But Everton are looking to be a great side. And if you're a great side, then you beat these good teams. And Everton have tripped up this season against teams that not even at the level of Aston Villa, are below Aston Villa's level. Your Fulhams, your Newcastles, your Burnleys. So I just hope that when we come up against a decent Premier League side, a side that, are doing okay, and I've done well at the start of the season, I just hope we turn up and win, because a win is so important tomorrow. If we don't win tomorrow, then everybody's just deflated. You're sort of sitting there thinking, is that Europe gone now? We're going to be able to pick up those 3 points that we've just dropped? Certainly given, Tottenham, West Ham, Chelsea, Liverpool all play this weekend as well. So you're sort of looking out for their results. And I think the one thing we did last week, obviously we played before everybody else, so we were just solely focused on Everton and winning that game of football, and then all we could have done on Friday night was win. Doesn't matter what happened in the Liverpool game on Saturday morning, doesn't matter what happened in the Chelsea game, doesn't matter what happened in the Tottenham game, all as Everton could have done last week is win, and we won. That's the same. Now I just hope we don't look at, I don't know who plays tomorrow afternoon before us. Let's have a little look. But I just hope that we're not sitting there at 8 o'clock and we're sort of thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen here? These have dropped points, this team have dropped points, that team have dropped points. So Chelsea play Fulham at 5:30. Obviously we played 8 o'clock. Chelsea play Fulham at 5:30. So Chelsea drop points. I hope we're not sitting there looking, going, oh my God, Chelsea have dropped points here. This is a chance for us to get closer to them, and then we throw it. Ultimately, we need to just focus on ourselves. And like I said before, Everton could finish 10th at the end of this Premier League season and only be 3 points away from finishing in the Champions League places. And we'll all look at it and go, yeah, it was really, really tight. But we'll all also look at it and go, yeah, but we finished 10th. So we have to just purely focus on ourselves and focus on going out and getting the 3 points. Anyway, let's get into my predicted starting 11 then. We won't keep waffling on. We will get into the predicted starting 11 and then we'll get back into the live comments. If you're enjoying, by the way, please do hit that like button. Only takes a second. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you could share the stream, it would mean a great deal to me as well. If you're watching as a YouTube video, leave your thoughts in the comments and we'll get involved with as many of them as we possibly can. Yeah, let's get into the predicted starting 11 then. Like I said, Carlo Ancelotti's press conference is due to start within the next half an hour or so we haven't had any injury updates, but I'm sort of going out on a limb here and hoping that all of these players that I'm going to mention are fit and ready to start tomorrow night. So in goal, I'm going for Jordan Pickford. Obviously, absolutely excellent against Arsenal. Didn't have an awful lot to do, but said it in the Arsenal review, and I've said it a number of times, certainly in recent weeks. Jordan Pickford has won us that game against Arsenal. Jordan Pickford had won us those 3 points through what with the last. Listen, Arsenal had nothing. Had absolutely nothing last Friday, nothing. They had no opportunities, they didn't do anything with the ball. We didn't do much either, but Arsenal had absolutely nothing. And they had the opportunity in the last second of that game to equalise with Seamus Coleman, I think it is, trying to sort of shield the ball out of play, and Martinelli just sticks his foot round and just gets a connection on it. And Jordan Pickford has to get down and make an absolutely world-class save. Let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it, let's not mistake it. It's a world-class save by Jordan Pickford, an absolutely world-class save, and Jordan's done that on a number of occasions in recent weeks since he's returned, since he's obviously the Merseyside derby win and his performance in that game, sort of coming up against all odds really. He was hounded by the media for months and months and months after the Merseyside derby at Goodison early on in the season, and the media were absolutely crucifying him and praying that he failed in that Merseyside derby at Anfield in February, and he didn't. He stood up and he was absolutely excellent, and he silenced every single journalist, every single broadcasting company, every single pundit that had a bad word to say about him in the lead up to it. And since then, I don't think Jordan's put a foot wrong. He won us the following game against Southampton with a great save to deny Yannick Vestergaard in the last seconds. He won us the game after against West Brom with an unbelievable save from a header early on in the game. He's won us the Arsenal game last time out. He returned against Tottenham after being out injured for a couple of weeks. Don't think he could really do much, to be honest, with either of the Tottenham goals. I think that's just poor defending. So for me, Jordan Pickford has been excellent in the last 6-7 weeks or so, and even taking his injury into consideration since that Merseyside derby, he hasn't really put a foot wrong whatsoever. And I think Jordan will start tomorrow, and as he should start tomorrow, because he's won us a lot of points recently. So I'm going with Jordan Pickford in goal. I'm going with Luca Dean at left back, obviously. Again, Luca Dean has had a decent last couple of games. He hasn't been as good as what I think we sort of expected and the expectation that we set out for Luca Dean, but he's been okay. He's been decent. He put a couple of good balls into the box against Arsenal. He did also put a couple of real stinkers into the box, but ultimately, he's been. The thing is with Luca Dean is I think we expect a lot from Luca Dean. We expect goals, we expect constant assists, we expect constant unbelievable balls into the box, and what you don't actually realise is Luca Dean can have a decent game of football without doing any of that. And he has recently, he's had good games of football where he hasn't really been involved as much. He hasn't scored a goal this season, for example. So Luca Dean is definitely due a goal. Hopefully he gets one this week. But again, I think he's been good in recent weeks. I don't think he's been as good as he can be, but I think he's been decent. And ultimately, look, we've got no other option at left back, have we? So Luca Dean at left back. I just want to shout out Everton Azul in the live comments. They have donated £4.99, £5 to the live stream. Thank you very, very, very much. Honestly, I really, really do appreciate it. They also commented, Cam, thanks so much for visiting us at Everton Azul channel. Come on, you mighty Blues. If you haven't checked out Everton Azul, it's an unbelievable fan channel spreading the Everton word throughout Colombia, the United States, all around the world. I was lucky enough to go on and join the lads over at Everton Azul a couple of days ago on Wednesday morning to talk about Everton, to talk about James, to talk about where we're going this season and what we need in the summer. So please do go and check that out. The lads are absolutely brilliant over there, welcomed me with open arms, and a top content creators and know what they're talking about with Everton as well. So go over there, check them out, drop them a subscribe, and go and check out that video. Really enjoyed coming on and really enjoyed talking about the toffees with the lads. So big thanks for the donation. Really appreciate it. It means a massive amount to me, and I hope you're both doing well as well. Anyway, like I said, we will get back in the live comments in a moment, by the way. But I've gone for the back four because, like I said before, for me the Tottenham game was a much better performance by Everton. It was a much more confident performance, but still we gifted 2 silly goals through stupid defensive mistakes. And look, for me, I just don't like that 5 at the back formation whatsoever. I don't think we play it well enough. I don't think the players understand it well enough. And I just prefer if we reverted back to a 4. We're at home ultimately against an Aston Villa side who are a decent side with quality, but we shouldn't have to adopt a defensive formation against this Aston Villa side. So I'm going for a centre-back partnership of Yerry Mina and Ben Godfrey. Now, this is slightly harsh on Mason Holgate because I don't think Mason really put a foot wrong against Arsenal. I thought he had a really solid game. But the reality of the situation is if Yerry Mina's back and Yerry Mina's at 100%, then I think Yerry Mina starts, because for me, he's probably our most solid centre-half and certainly has been for the majority of this season. I think in the air, he's the most dominant. I think what we saw in the game against Tottenham was 2 centre-backs in Mason Holgate and Michael Keane, who just really struggled to console Harry Kane, really struggled to console those balls into the box. The 2 goals that we conceded didn't only happen through defensive mistakes, but they also happened through crosses into the box, whereas with Yerry Mina on the pitch, I think we can all confidently say that wouldn't have happened. He would have dealt with them. So I think Yerry Mina has to come back in. And then, look, I've said it before, when you're thinking about who to pick next to Yerry Mina or next to Michael Keane or whoever you're thinking of picking next to the centre-halves, you can't really overlook Ben Godfrey. You really can't, because he's been absolutely excellent this season. He's been unbelievable. His consistency has been there. His versatility has been there. He's just been fantastic. So for me, Ben Godfrey goes in next to Yerry Mina. Again, he had a really good game against Arsenal, as did Mason. So it is a little bit harsh on Mason, and if we went with a 5 at the back, I think Mason would probably be in there, but I just don't like 5 at the back, so I don't. So I'm going to go with Yerry Mina and Ben Godfrey. Right back, I'm going with Seamus Coleman. I think, again, he's been very solid recently, put in some really good performances. Yes, injury-wise and fitness-wise, he's not where we would like him to be, but he's never going to be there ever again because of his age and the injuries that he's suffered. But I think ability-wise, we saw his assist against Tottenham. It was a fantastic ball into the box for Gylfi Sigurdsson, and he's been involved on a lot of occasions in recent weeks and games since since he's been on the pitch and come on as a substitute in that Tottenham game, and his attack and play was absolutely excellent. So going with Seamus Coleman at right back. He's also put in some decent solid defensive performances as well. Into the midfield then, I've gone with a 3. I've gone with Alan, Tom Davis, and then James Rodriguez in the number 10 sort of role. Again, I really want to see Alan and Tom Davis within that sort of double pivot in the midfield. It does sort of scream, where's the energy coming from? Because I don't think either of those players have a massive amount of energy off the ball. But then you're looking at our other options and you're thinking Fabian Delph doesn't have any energy off the ball. Andre Gomez doesn't have any energy off the ball. Gylfi Sigurdsson, for as good as he is creatively and going forward, doesn't have any real energy off the ball. I would be really interested to see if Carlo can sort of integrate James Rodriguez and Gylfi Sigurdsson within the same team and hope that they can sort of reignite that partnership that we saw in the game against Tottenham, because I thought they were very, very good and they worked very well together. But again, I think in order to do that, you're probably looking at having to put a 5 at the back formation, so you've got the wide support from the wing backs, and I just really don't like a 5 at the back formation. So I'm going with Alam, who again has been really solid coming against Spurs, and for me had his best game in an Everton shirt for a long, long time. Thought he was absolutely brilliant. Tom Davies, who's had a decent season this season, much more improved than what he has been recently. And then James Rodriguez, who for me is hopefully going to be vital in this game. His creativity, his ability, his ability to find the pass that nobody else sees and pick out a ball that nobody else can predict, I think could be vital in this game of football and to win in this game. Aston Villa are a good side, but is their defence going to be clever enough and good enough to keep up with the brain of James Rodriguez? And hopefully not, and hopefully James can show that quality. If you're enjoying, by the way, so far, please do hit that like button. It only takes a second. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you could share the stream as well, it would mean a great deal. And then as a front three, obviously I've gone for Richarlison, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and I've given Josh King a start. Look, if Josh King doesn't start this game, then I think it's pretty evident that he's not going to sign in the summer. And look, he's probably not going to sign in the summer either way, to be honest with you, because I don't think Carlo Ancelotti fancies him whatsoever. And it has been a little bit of a head-scratcher of a transfer, because you're sort of looking at it thinking, well, what's the point? We've brought in this lad who was going to come in and give us a little bit of something else, give us a different dynamic, and he's only been coming on in the last 5 or 10 minutes of games, and he hasn't been able to get the opportunity to make an impact. I don't think Alex Iwobi should play, because I don't think he can play on that right-hand side. I don't think he's had a good enough season whatsoever. We haven't really got anybody else. We haven't really got any other options. I know Bernard, could potentially go in there, but I don't think Carlo Ancelotti would go with Bernard, to be honest. So I'm going to put Josh King on one side, I'm going to put Richarlison on the other, and I'm going to put Dominic Calvert-Lewin through the middle, of course. Like I said before, massive game for Dom, this absolutely massive game. He struggled in the last couple of weeks or so in terms of sort of getting his foot on the ball. He struggled against Palace to take the chances that were created for him, and he struggled over the last couple of games to create his own sort of chances, if you like. So hopefully in this game, Dom can get on the score sheet, get his confidence back up, because Dom could be a very, and will be a very, very, very good key player to this Everton team within the next 6 games of the season. There's been a nonsense rumour linking him to Manchester United. We are going to sit down over the next few days or so and talk about some of the recent transfer rumours. We'll talk about the Calvert-Lewin rumour, we'll talk about the Coutinho rumour in a bit more detail, but put it this way, I think it's a load of crap, basically. I think the rumour linking him with Manchester United is a load of tosh, and I don't think he'll leave Everton in this summer. But yeah, they're my front three. I've gone with Josh King, Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison. Do I think it'll happen? Probably not, because I don't think Carlo Ancelotti will go with Josh King. But ultimately, I think, it would be nice to see Josh King, it would be. Anyway, that's my predicted starting 11. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments section. Let's get back into the live comments then before we finish up. Football fans' thoughts. Says, best thing Delph has done is wear them socks. Philip says, yeah, he needs the book thrown at him. Cameron says, if Everton wins 2-1 and Man United beat Liverpool, yeah, I don't know what that means, but does that mean we go above Liverpool? I'm not too sure. A football fan's thought says, Cam, there's a petition for UK residents to sign. Government debates 50+1 English rule. Yeah, I've signed it. Got it over there. If you haven't signed it already, I don't know what the link is, so I can't link it, but if you haven't signed it already, get over and sign that petition, because I think that rule could be, if it was put in place in English football, I think it would help massively. Kate says, first Sidibe, then Delphu's next with the socks. Ha ha ha, yeah. Adam, she says, reckon Dom and Tom would wear some strange socks. Listen, Dom and Tom are boss, absolutely boss, and I love the personalities that Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Tom Davies are. I really, really do. Football fans thought says, the position is so fans have a say in our clubs. Manuel says, we've got to win 5 out of 6. Forget the last play day against Man City. Well, Man City, with the last game of the season, might have already won the league, being an FA Cup final, as they are, and being in a Champions League. No, they got kicked out the FA Cup, didn't they? Man City, sorry, let me rephrase. Sorry, Manchester City, come the last game of the season, might have already won the league, probably will have already won the league, and be preparing for the Champions League final. So, will they be as bothered about playing Everton in the last game of the season? I don't know, probably, because even if they put out their 4th team, it's probably still good enough to beat Everton. But yeah, it's an interesting one. Ian says, Zedinger's flopping again. Come on, you Blues. We can't, mate. We can't flop again. Jason says, yeah, I agree. 5 out the next 6 need to be wins, and then it can be a free pass against City. Well, if we win 5 out the next 6, then I don't think the City game has as much pressure on it, but it's all about winning 5 out the next 6, and that's going to be difficult for Everton. It is. Adam, she says, City might play a rotated squad if they've already won the league. By then, we might be in with a shout. Manuel says, Coutinho would just be heavenly, mate. Much prefer him over Isco. Colin wants to build a dream team. Listen, he's a good player, Philippe Coutinho. He is a very good player. I'm not doubting his quality. I just don't think he's the right player for Everton at the moment. I think you'll get a player of his quality for much cheaper and much younger as well. Everton Azul says, Cam, thanks so much for visiting us at Everton Azul channel. Thank you very much for having me. Really appreciate it. Like I said, go and check out Everton Azul if you haven't already. Go and check out that video with myself. Then he says, alright, Cam, hope you keeping well. Thoughts on the Coutinho rumours. Firstly, before any opinion on Philippe Coutinho, I don't believe the rumours, to be honest with you. I think it's just his agent throwing about Everton's name to try and stir the pot and get him a move to the Premier League. So I don't believe the rumours, and I don't think we need Philippe Coutinho, if I'm being honest with you. I think he says, as much as I hate that he played for that certain team, I think Coutinho definitely improves. He does improve us, but I just think financially, and then I just don't think he's what we need, personally anyway. But we will talk about the Philippe Coutinho rumours, and we'll talk about the Dominic Calvert-Lewin rumours on another live stream. Probably next week we'll sit down, maybe Tuesday, and talk about them. Mama says, Everton are confident to land him, already house looking. Forgotten World of Movie says, no matter how scrappy the win, we need to win as many as possible now. Need to teach each game left like a final. Absolutely, mate, absolutely. Adam C says, Vamos Everton, spots on. Everton Azul says, you are too kind, my friend. Big hugs. Thank you very much, mate. Big hugs to you too. Thank you for having me on the channel. Can't wait to come on again in the future. Joshua says, if we are after Coutinho, I don't want him because of the Liverpool ties, but he's 28 and a good football player. Yeah, look, he is a good football player. Nobody is disagreeing, but I agree. I just don't think he's what Everton need, to be honest with you. Everton Azul says, Ben Godfrey, the most solid defender for the Toffees. He's the energy and the compass at the back. Exactly, mate. Joshua says, if Fabrizio Romano hasn't announced anything about Coutinho, don't believe it. Do people still honestly think Josh King is any good? He didn't score in 20 appearances for Bournemouth. Again, I don't think Carlo believes he's any good, if I'm being honest with you, either. So, look, who again, probably won't start, but if we're going to play a front 3, which I think we might do, if we're going to play a front 2, then it'll probably be 5 at the back, and I don't want to see 5 at the back. But I'd rather see... It's mad because I'd like to see Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison as split strikers playing off each other rather than maybe Josh King and Richie playing on the wing, but I don't want to see a 5 at the back, so it's all up in the air. Zizou says, unfortunately, there's no Coleman in today's training pictures or videos. Yeah, well, again, sometimes the club just don't include certain players because they can't tweet out everybody, but Carlo's press conference is in around 10 minutes or so I'm sure we'll find out then. Everton Azul says, dang it, no Coleman. We don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see for Carlos' press conference. Zizou says, no Coleman or Gomez. Stephen says, don't want Coutinho. I think he's a good player, but not this type of player. We need pace and power. If he can win the next 5 top 4, maybe. Yeah, definitely. And I agree, by the way, we need players that we definitely need a fast, tricky winger who can come in and who can just run at opposition players and give them issues. That's what we need. We just don't have that in this team whatsoever. But anyway, look, just to finish up on, this is going to be a difficult game. It really, really is going to be a difficult game, but it's a game that Everton must win, and it's a game that Everton should be winning, and it's a game that we've got no excuse in, really. 6 games to go now. Like I said at the start of the team, I don't really care how we perform. I don't really care how we do it. Just go out and get the 3 points, please, because this is an Aston Villa team who have got quality and I've got some good players, but still a team that Everton should have more than enough to go out and win. Everton Azul says, we can find good young English talent with energy, like they need to spend so much on money on people like Coutinho. Yeah, fair point. Adam says, it seems like Carlo doesn't like taking a chance with youngsters, so I can see how Coutinho would fit in instead of a youngster potentially. But then you look at Ben Godfrey and you think, look at how well Ben Godfrey has worked this season. And Joshua says, how is there going to be a press conference if they're boycotting social media? So this is one thing I want to talk about before I leave, by the way. Ourselves, the Mighty Blues, will be taking part in this boycott of social media from 3 p.m. today. So the press conference is at 1:30, so that's how it can take place. It's from 3 p.m. today till 11:59 on Monday night. We won't be posting anything on our Twitter from within those timescales. We won't be posting anything on our Instagram. I think YouTube videos will still go ahead because it's not social media, and I think a lot of the other fan channels who are taking part will still be doing YouTube videos as well. But our Twitter, we won't be using it. We won't be using our Instagram. We'll all have to find out our team news from probably teletext or you know, the Everton app or something like that. But it's important this, because we have to stand up against all forms of abuse, racist abuse, homophobic abuse, all forms of abuse we have to stand up against, because it's not okay for people to log on to Twitter using a fake name, a fake ID, a fake profile, a fake picture, and then go and say whatever they want about players or fans or pundits or different other people just because they're hiding behind an image. I think these social media companies, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, they all need to take a stance in ensuring that when you create a profile on those applications, you have to put your picture in, you have to put your details in, you have to put information in, so that if you say something horrible and discriminative and disgusting and abusive, that those companies can contact the police and say, right, we've got this person's information, this is where he lives, this is where he's from, etc, etc, you can go and deal with it. Because until they do that, people are just going to continue to make accounts, get banned, make another account with a different name, a different email, and continue to abuse people, and it won't change. But this is big. Like I said, a lot of football clubs doing it, Everton are doing it, and we're doing it, the Mighty Blues. Now there's a lot of other Everton fan channels are doing it. They're standing up against this and boycotting social media for, like I said, from 3 p.m. today till 11:59 on Monday night. So there still should be an instant match reaction to play ratings and a review, but there won't be any tweets, there won't be any Instagram posts, there won't be any team news updates, there won't be any match updates on Saturday. So if you're doing it, you know, fair play and well done. But yeah, we're doing it ourselves because we think it's massively important to stand up against these forms of you know, these people that just think it's acceptable to abuse people when it's really, really not. It's disgusting, it's horrible, and they need to be absolutely just removed from social media. If you can't use social media, not, you know, and I know there's a lot of criticism on social media and there's a lot of criticism for different things, but there's a difference between criticising something and giving your opinion and abusing somebody for no reason whatsoever. And these social media companies need to make a change and to stop this from happening, because it's in their hands to stop it. It's in their hands to make people responsible. And yeah, I know I certainly wouldn't have any issue with putting my personal details and my picture on our Twitter account, so that if anything was to ever come back to me, they'd say to you. I know it wouldn't, because I'd never abuse anybody, I'd never say anything like that, but I'd be more than happy to put my information out there as to state, yeah, fine, I'm happy to see if anything comes against me, then it's me. It wouldn't, because I wouldn't say it, but these people would then go, no, I'm not doing that, because then I'll get caught and something will happen to me and I'll just stay off social media. And that's what we want. We want these people to be removed from social media, and if they're going to abuse people, then, like I said, they're disgusting and they shouldn't be anywhere near social media. So yeah, we will be joining the boycott from 3 p.m. today until 11:59 on Monday night. There still will be an instant match reaction to play ratings, because I don't think YouTube classes as social media. I think it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, etc. So look out for those after the game, but there won't be any updates, there won't be any tweets, there won't be any pictures from 3 p.m. So yeah, Carlo's press conference is in about 7 minutes, so we'll be covering that, because obviously it's before 3 p.m. But then as soon as 3 p.m. comes, that's it, we're off until Tuesday, and hopefully we can force these companies to make a change in their policies and the way in which they do things to stop these horrible people from thinking they can say what they want. So yeah, anyway, look, that's going to do it for this preview. If you have enjoyed it, please do hit that like button. It does only take a second. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. Everton Azul's spot on, mate. No social media today. Joshua says it's up to the government to do something now. It's all about money. Do you think Facebook and Instagram cared about abuse? I called someone toxic and got banned on Twitter, and still have people who are abusive still on Twitter. Well, again, look, we spoke about society last week when we spoke about the European Super League and how society and football, you know, football at the moment is a representation of the society that we live in, and this is the same sort of situation. Everton Azul says up the toffees, is right, mate, up the toffees. But anyway, look, we're going to finish it there then. If you've enjoyed this live stream, please do hit that like button. It only takes a second. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Massive game tomorrow. Massive game. Big 3 points needed. Like I said, don't really care how we do it. Don't really care how we perform. Just go out and get the 3 points. Massive thanks for watching. Big thanks to everybody in the live comments. Really do appreciate it. If you're watching as a YouTube video, leave your thoughts in the comments, and we will get involved with as many of them as we possibly can. Share the stream if you've enjoyed this. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Big thanks. Up the toffees. Let's hope we can get the 3 points. And yeah, let's hope we can be talking about another win next week. Big thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.